My name is Raj Vattikuti. I'm the president and the chairman of Vattikuti Foundation. I live in the United States. I've been there 43 years. I went as a student, and then I spent a lot of time in India on robotic surgery and financial inclusion aspects. The main vision initially is because I went as a student and built a very valuable business, very successful business, and I wanted to give back to the community, mainly in the healthcare area. So cancer research was very important to me, and how do we bring the different ways of curing the cancer for men and women? So I gave a lot of money for the research in terms of the prostate cancer for men and lung cancer for the women, because both are the real evils of the death rate in these areas. So what we have done is initially to look at the technology in the surgical perspective. How do we make the prostate cancer much more easier so that the patients can up and running very quick by leveraging technology? That's where we have actually started the robotic surgery. We're the first one to really expand the prostate surgery in the world and become the household. Now, 85% of the prostate surgeries are done using the robot today. And so now we've also brought that to India, and last 6 years we've been working on this. Now it's also the outcome as the people, both the surgeons and the patients start seeing, now that program is really expanding. Similarly, the second vision is how I wanted to give back something to India, where I can help, not just giving the money, but what can we do? So I saw that rural India has so much poverty, and so about almost 250 million people are below poverty. They don't have any financial instruments, especially bank accounts, bank loans, and very high interest rates. For even the microfinance is 25%. So I thought that using technology, how do we can leverage this, which you have seen today, companies like Paytm, they're doing more in the urban area. We do it in the rural areas. We did pilots in Karnataka state, and we're able to take about 200,000 people out of poverty by using technology, linking them with the banks, and quickly getting them the loans by showing they're capable of repaying it. So now we get the loan approvals in a week time from the big banks like State Bank, Syndicate Bank, IDBI banks, and so they're able to get the interest rate. Farmers at 7%, and the women groups are about 9%. So they're able to repay back and come out of poverty, also able to borrow more money to send their children to colleges. So on the robotic surgery, the challenges initially was cost. Everybody thought that is very expensive, and how can we afford that? In order to prove it, what we had to do is to initially to what we use a model called pay for use, so that they don't have much risk, and how well is good for the surgeons and the patients. We also done a lot of things, giving some instruments to the surgeons to get good experience, and they can see the difference between the open surgery, laparoscopic, and robotic, and that has also helped. Like that, we've done a lot of schemes to help initially to people, surgeons have the confidence, and that this is the best technology. And so now, last year and a half, 2 years now, this has really taken off. We have 360 surgeons today doing the robotic surgery, and they just love it. And they see the value of the robot compared to open surgery, and especially some of the areas like transoral surgery, and the robot is the best way to cure it. Especially India has so many the throat cancers and the tongue cancers, so this is the best way to treat that. So that's the challenge we have overcome. Now we can see how do we now scale it, how we create more talent, and so we're heavily investing in the foundation to building the fellows and training the surgeons, and so that they can really up and running. Similarly, on the financial inclusion, we had really problem. How do we do the cash management, all those things? And so then finally we figured out we use the Kirana merchants, local merchants, who are very trustworthy in the community. So we use them to do all the cash management. They do all the transactions. They're like a branch in the village. So they have the technology we provide them, and they do all the transaction, bank account opening, payment, loan processing, all those aspects of it. So now we got the model and creating those operations. So next year we'll start really scaling up across the country. The training is because it's important for the surgeons to be really the getting used to that kind of the 3D vision, maneuvering the instruments. They're all very good and they know the anatomy very well. They've done so many surgeries. The key is to just the motor skills so that they can be a lot more efficient. That's why the basic training of using a robot in the console, sitting, and those are the things that are very important. And then as the advance, the training is very important because there's certain clinical aspect. They need to see how the difference between the open laparoscopic, so the robot, how efficient it is, and so that they can learn or observe the others when they're doing it, so they can learn on that. So the training is very important. It's very important, but the data outcome is important. Like in the U.S. when we started, and now we continue to do it. Our Urology Institute as a Henry Ford Health System, we follow through because when we know what the erectile function and a whole bunch of other things, so that we know what things went well, what things didn't go. And also we can use that data to tell the people how much difference compared to, so how fast they're able to go to work and how much blood loss was there. So there's a lot of complication aspect. So we are able to see in the robotic surgery the infections and a lot of these difference, which really helped by following of the post-surgery over 2 or 3 years after surgery. Yeah, when we started, we had when we came at that time, only 9 robots. And now today, by end of the year, we'll have close to 70, and next year we'll have 100. By 2020, we're very confident we can get to close to 200 robots and doing about close to 25,000 surgeries using robot. There's a lot of opportunity because India has a tremendous the surgical talent, very talented people. They can really come up with the new procedures as well as the new techniques, which will really help the world in terms of how to expand this. We did the kidney transplant, all done here in India. Now US and Europe surgeons are adopting. The future plans here is to really continue to develop a lot of innovation in India in the robotic surgery. And similarly in the financial inclusion, we want to expand this much more so we can commercially viable and so that we can continue to, foundation can be a catalyst, doing a lot more newer things. Our goal is, besides financial inclusion, how can we get affordable health care using technology and education into rural India?